Pat, I have something here for you. I want you to take a listen and tell me what you think it is.
Okay.
Okay. Could you hear that?
Yeah, was it a Velcro? Something Velcro?
Nope. It was a letter in the mail. And let me read it to you. You are cordially invited to celebrate the marriage of Jesse and Pat. Got the wedding invitation.
Nice.
And I waited until this very second to open it for you.
I was going to say, I don't know, that definitely wasn't Velcro, but it's early. This is our first morning show, and I think maybe only the second or third morning show we've done in the last 2 years.
In a long time.
Right. Doing the invites by hand was kind of like a 2-weekend process. And,
man. Yeah.
But it was nice. It was nice to just get some work done outside of work in a weird way.
They look good, man. I like the little watercolor. It's a pretty heavy card stock.
Thanks. Yeah, we really wanted to get a picture of ourselves on there because we weren't doing save the dates, but we noticed that you guys had like a pretty illustrated invite like that. So we said, why don't we just keep it easy and order a bunch of stuff that, it was a palette from some site we saw. So we just ordered a bunch and kept it easy.
Looks good, man. I love it.
Thanks.
I'm stoked. I'm really excited. I actually got 2 wedding invitations on the same day. And I'm hyped, dude. Dinner and dancing to follow. Hyped for the
That's
dancing.
Right. That's right. Jesse was excited about that line. I definitely felt like Gary Gergich to a certain degree, just like picking up an envelope, licking it, and putting it, just like super mean, like Donna coming over asking him from Parks and Rec for people who watch the show. There's a character who goes by many names that loves menial work but somehow messes it up.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Did I tell you he tweeted at me a while ago?
Yeah, I saw that. I think that's very cool. He seems like a nice guy who will forever be known for that role, I'm sure. Yeah,
and also I think I Google searched him just because I was curious what else he's been in, and he was in, do you remember the movie Accepted? The like fake college.
Oh, yeah, I love that movie.
He was one of the fathers dropping off their kids in that movie, and I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if he was Jonah Hill's dad or something.
I think he was, actually.
Nice.
Let me see, awesome. Tim O'Heir. Anyway.
Right. No, it's definitely exciting. Your wedding's coming up, and we'll talk about what we plan to do for our ceremonies a little bit later in the show, because neither of us are going to do religious ceremonies or traditional religious ceremonies, so you got to fill the time somehow, you know what I mean? And that's going to be...
You're not.
Oh, you are.
No. No.
We'll get to that later. A little nice tease there for the fans at home. But we do have some mailbag stuff to get to.
Oh, God. Okay. More mail.
That's right. It's a mail-based show. This is the first time we've recorded in the morning. People don't know what happens when we wake up. It's opening a lot of snail mail. That's how America wakes up.
Let's do it.
Okie dokie. And this one comes from Cameron in Athens, Ohio. And Matt, actually from Canada, has a similar question on Twitter.
Vancouver, I think.
That's right. The West Coast boy, California cool. Any home coffee making tips? And Tom, as a former barista, I'm sure you would have plenty.
Yeah. I saw a picture on Time Hop of the coffee setup I had in my old apartment room, the one that we recorded all the 400 par albums in, and it was just insane for like a little home brewed setup. There's a couple things that are my go-tos. If you're looking to spend like $200, you can have the best coffee you've ever had.
Can you give us $10 tips as well?
I can't even find you good coffee for less than $10.
Well, you told me using filtered water is like a good place to start one time. So like, can you start there and then work up to like the 200?
Yeah, we'll start there. So if you have $5,000 to spend on a reverse osmosis water filtration system, it's definitely the way to go. But if you have a Brita filter, again, more than $10, coffee is 98.5% water. So you definitely want to start with good water. Super important. When it comes to just coffee in general, buying whole bean is the better way to go, because when you grind the coffee, within a couple minutes, most of those gases that are responsible for a lot of the flavor will dissipate, and then you lose that. So if you can, go for whole bean coffee. There's a grinder that I used for many years, is the Baratza Maestro. I think it's like $140. It's a really solid grinder, great for making pour overs, which is the way I like to do my coffee. I think I already tweeted a link to Matt, but this is for you.
What's a
Cameron.
pour over?
So think of your coffee pot. It's just pouring hot water over the ground coffee. It's essentially that, but you do every step of that manually, where you boil water, you put it in some kind of kettle, and then you pour it over the coffee. And the reason for that is there's like a specific way you can pour it with a certain rate of the water going in quickly at first, then you wait for it to bloom, and then you pour it over. And if you pour it in a certain direction at a certain speed, it has a better extraction. So it's like a really like intimate manual process, but it's also a very affordable way of doing it. The pour over cones are relatively inexpensive, like $20, just a ceramic cone you put a filter in. So I'll make like a link. I'll have a link in the show notes to how to do a proper pour over, and maybe some supplies. But if you want some of the best coffee you've ever had, obviously you got to buy good coffee. But if you learn how to make a good pour over, it is the best coffee you'll ever have. French presses are for peasants, and don't do it.
Whoa.
Yeah, screen coffee is bullshit. That's all I'll say.
Aggression. In college, I had a roommate that used French press, and there was just the fact that many of the grounds got into the drink.
Yeah. Stupid.
Was immediately off-putting for me. Yeah, it's like, how is this something that sells as a product that is supposed to do this well?
Right, and that's what screened coffee is. It's like a metal filter that allows larger particles to come through, and you get that kind of sludge at the bottom. There are pour-overs that also have metal filters, but that's still screened coffee compared to filtered. Totally different texture. Changes the mouthfeel of the coffee, and it's no good. No bueno.
For college, it was, I guess, the best way to do it in a dorm room real quick, like fill up dorm sink water into it in a microwave, zap it, put some Folgers grounds in, and then just like press that shit. And I think it technically worked, but yeah, it was a bad system.
The problem with French presses and with pour overs too is when you have the grounds on the bottom and you pour the hot water over the top, you don't want to fill it all the way. You want to cover all the grounds, fill it like a third of the way, wait a minute, and you'll see that the coffee will like kind of puff up, it'll rise, and that's all the gases that will account for bitterness that kind of are releasing, and you don't want that actually in the brew of the coffee.
Well, duh, Tom, everybody knows that.
So you fill it a third of the way, and then you get that bloom, and after a minute you shake it up, you stir it, give it a little spin, and then fill the rest of the water. That will definitely make your coffee taste better right out of the gate.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What about, I always feel dumb when I go to coffee shops, and, I always just order a small coffee. And, do you have any tips for someone who worked, how they have those things online, like 10 things flight attendants won't tell you. Ordering Diet Coke is kind of a minor inconvenience for them because it's hard to pour at that altitude. It's very fizzy. But is there any, behind the barista bar tips you can think of, like, common mistakes customers did, or stuff that didn't make sense, or people trying to sound too cool, or what's the best not at home coffee tip you can think of?
Well, I have two right offhand. So I worked at a coffee shop outside of DC that was like super busy all the time, line out the door for like 14 hours a day that they were open. And the two things that drove me crazy.
Good for whoever owns that place.
Yeah. So to put it in perspective, I've worked at like 6 different coffee shops, and most of the end of day totals range from $800 to $2,000 a day. And this place would cash out like $14,000 a day. Like it was crazy busy all the time. So the things that I hated, people would come up and still not really know what they wanted. And that was super fucking annoying. But there's also no shame in just not knowing like what it is that you like and having a barista try to help you with like what you're looking for. To me, that was always kind of fun, trying to figure out what people liked or like what they were looking for and helping them decide on a drink. We didn't have like all those crazy flavor options, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But just know what you're looking for if you know what you're looking for. And caramel macchiatos are not fucking what you think they are. A macchiato is a little 3-ounce beverage. It is 2 shots of espresso with a tiny bit of steamed milk foam on top. A caramel macchiato is some bullshit that Starbucks made up. It is a latte with caramel in it. That's all it is. So if you go to a specialty shop and order a caramel macchiato, they're going to make fun of you. And possibly to your face. I've done that. I made fun of Danny Espinosa to his face. I didn't know who he was. He's like the second baseman for the Nats baseball team, and he was like one of the MVPs that year. And I was like, dude, just such an asshole. Just made fun of him, and he thought it was kind of funny. But
well, he probably gets his ass kissed all the time. He probably was like, "Is this what it feels like to be alive?" You probably like made his. He might have. Like, I don't know, just been very happy with that.
Felt human again.
Yeah, it's we're doing an AM show, so I'm trying to keep it not going to the gutter. No, this isn't late night radio anymore. So we've changed. We're pivoting. Yeah, I always get nervous because like the only time I never get regular, I guess, just black coffee is the vanilla latte. Is that a normal order?
I'll fuck with the vanilla latte, especially if I know that the shop isn't very good and the coffee isn't just going to taste good. I'll put some vanilla in it. Definitely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hate watching them just like pour syrup into it because it's like, this feels like a different, it feels like cocoa at that point to a certain degree.
Right.
But with that said, you know, in college, because of the French press, I would always get those Starbucks before like calories were something that entered your mind back when your body was young and just the metabolism was just destroying anything that entered it, came near it. Those Frappuccino things, it was just we
love them.
But like the warm equivalent is a vanilla latte, right? I think that's what messes with me because it's like they made it rhyme with cappuccino, and it is fun to say, but that's incorrect, right? It would be anyway. Nobody cares about.
Well, no, I mean they also did themselves a huge disservice by calling that a Frappuccino when it's an iced latte. Like I don't understand why they call a macchiato the wrong thing. And then they already made a Frappuccino, but then they make something different and also call it a Frappuccino when they're two completely different things. They're dumb, man. I hate Starbucks.
It makes it intimidating to go in public and talk about coffee. I'm glad we're doing this, by the way. It's very... Now, Starbucks, they've come under... We won't go into this too much, but other than the recent stuff they've handled with certain Philadelphia stores and claims of racism and stuff, they treat their employees well. Like, aren't they one of those companies that does college loan forgiveness and training so they can someday have a job not in Starbucks and things like that?
Like in
the Barista game, is there any talk about how like you might despise the chain aspect just because they're a large chain, but do they run their shop pretty well other than naming things incorrectly?
I didn't really think so, but when I worked there, I was 18, so I didn't really focus on that stuff too much.
Okay.
I know.
So you have worked at one.
Yeah, it was like my first job in the DC area. But if you're looking for benefits like that as well, even healthcare benefits, if you are a barista and you join the Baristas Guild of America, of which I am
one of those.
Oh yeah, I did a 3-day training out of town with them to get certified through the Specialty Coffee Association of America and the Baristas Guild of America, and they offer healthcare actually. So they have some benefits just for joining them. I think it's like $20 a year, and then they offer some kind of healthcare. So
well, another foreshadowing tease. You are doing more out of job training for a new job.
I am.
So you're just an out of town job training machine. Let's move on to the second. Hopefully that's enough tips for you, Cameron, you greedy bastard.
Taking all the show.
Yeah, really, geez. This is Chris in Dayton. Hey, Tom, are there any other normal household objects, such as pants, that you refuse to acquire? This is probably my favorite mailbag question so far.
Well, I did have to buy pants. I think I told you the other day.
Yeah, the end of an era.
It's brutal, out, Pat. It really is, and they're not comfortable.
You've changed, man.
So I think, as you know, I don't even own underwear, right? So I don't wear underwear. And the stitching on these Dickies pants.
We had actually never covered that, but...
Yeah, I don't even own underwear, dude. I haven't worn underwear in like 5 years. You should try it.
I'm not gonna, but appreciate There's a scene in, I think, is it Something About Mary, where Ben Stiller zips his stuff in his zipper, and it's all I think about when I've been putting on pants since seeing that movie scene. So
I think that That happened to me once when I tried to go commando in like 4th grade. I zipped my balls up, and that was horrible.
Oof.
But I'm older, wiser, and I think that Matt, we might have talked about this. I'm button fly all the way anyways, so that eliminates many of those worries.
Ooh, that's a lot of effort. How many buttons is that, 3 or 4?
It's like 4. But dude, when you take them off, you just pull them apart.
You're
it's
insane.
like Velcro.
You're insane.
Okay.
You have problems.
What do I refuse to acquire? A cat. Megan has been wanting to get a cat. I don't know if you call a cat a household object.
We'll allow it. The judges, I'm looking over at the judges. They've given a few thumbs up. 4 out of 5 dentists agree that this is allowed.
But I'm hella allergic, so no cats. Geez, alcohol? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think you've answered the question. I think we're probably alcohol. That's a good one. The cat thing. I'm very allergic to cats as well, but I actually grew fond of. I grew up with a dog household, and Jesse's cat Sansa, who was a black cat, who was kind of a bee, but I kind of like that. Like, you don't have to pay attention to them at all, and you just leave food out once or twice a day. And then if you're sitting there, they might come up and be like, all right, it's cuddle time for a bit. Then you're like, all right, like dogs, after, I don't know, there's so many dogs that just like are up in your grill and crotch specifically, I guess, just like wanting that love when you're visiting someone's house. And you're like, all right, man, like you pet it once and it's like, are you the pet person? I'm like,
You've met Levi,
dogs
right?
are great. I have not met Levi.
Oh, okay.
But, in Albuquerque, my friend Clark was dog sitting for a friend, and one of those dogs just bit me when I got home. I was like,
God.
Yes, man. Yeah, I know. I've been bit several times by dogs in my life. So I do love dogs. I think I'd get one if I was going to get a pet. Plus, also, I'm allergic to cats. But, dogs have done just about all they could to make me want to switch teams. There's something about the cat thing that I do like, but I'm too allergic to fulfill the experiment. But yeah.
Yeah, when Megan wanted to get a cat, she's like, well, you have health insurance. Can't you just get allergy medicine? And I was like, for the rest of my life? What the fuck?
Right.
Like,
that's
are you kidding?
I knew a guy who got like a shot in his butt for like long-term allergy medicine. And it's like that. Yeah, is it?
Booty shots hurt, man. I've had several.
Hey. Yeah. So there you go, Tom. Other than pants, cats, and alcohol are other things you might not find in his home. Moving along, Tanya in Boston. Hey, Tom. Tanya here. Big fan. I support your decision to never wear pants. Would you ever consider not wearing socks or shoes? It'd be a shame to hide those puppies from the world.
Where do you find these people, Pat? Are you just making these up? Is that what's going on here?
They find us, man. No, look, we don't even like this segment. This segment is trash. The only reason we're doing it, and it's like we always say, man, we'll stop reading them when you stop writing them. So, Listen, this is not something we have to do. Everybody can just stop, and we don't have to talk about this again. But I blame you. It's your feet that keep drawing these letters. So don't put this on me, man.
Tanya, hello. First, I want to say that I took it even a step further with the shorts things. I found a pair of super awesome sweat shorts at Target that don't look like sweat shorts, and now I just wear those all the time. So it's not even that I wear shorts all the time. I'm wearing sweat shorts all the time, and it is luxury. Let me say that.
Whoa.
When I'm home, I'm usually not wearing socks or shoes. And it looks kind of funny because I was working on a roof for a year and a half wearing shorts. So my legs are super tan and then my feet are like ghostly white. So typically around the house, I'm not wearing them. In the yard, I do, because there's these like little seeds in Colorado that have these spikes on them and they get stuck in your feet and it burns for like 3 days. And they're everywhere. So I'm usually trying to wear some kind of flippy outside, flip-flops for the layperson. So my feet are usually exposed. And if they're not in the show notes, they are out in the world.
Well, I can't wait for the calendar release to be quite
honest.
Are we done? Yeah.
It's the longest mailbag segment yet.
Yeah, I didn't realize the coffee thing was going to carry us, but we're about halfway through, which is probably good. But yeah, this is something we opened the show with a little bit. Wedding talk. You and I are still kind of, I guess for those of you just joining us, both of us are getting married this year, which is good. And the only thing that is, I mean, every step is not stressful, but like, okay, here's a new thing to conquer as we head towards the actual event, is the actual wedding itself. You know, we are going to have a friend of ours be our minister type dude. And I've been to both kinds, or I guess there's many more than just traditional Catholic and not that, obviously. So I apologize for even having that be the first words that come out of my mouth. But those are the two I've seen, I guess. And I want to see more now. And I don't know how we're going to fill that 15 to 20 minutes, but I don't want to have it be too long. And I just wanted to hear from you about what you're going to do.
Well, I think a short ceremony, the shorter the better.
Or what you've seen and what you think is best. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, the shorter the better, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, we're writing our own vows, and we're getting married in 45 days, and I haven't even started thinking about it yet. I have a hard time wanting to be serious.
There are so many sitcom episodes based around the hullabaloo that can go on with writing your own vows.
Right.
Very brave.
And
Very brave.
My mind wants to kind of make it like a little bit of a comedy show, you know, which is not acceptable at all. So
it would if it went well.
And I'm not funny, so it wouldn't go well.
You're yeah. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say that perhaps your first instinct on this one was possibly misguided. I mean, even best man speeches that try to be funny usually flop. So
right, yeah.
I think you got to come from the heart, keep it short, and let people get on with their snacking and drinking.
By the way, how's your speech going for my wedding?
I'll start when you start on your vows. This is, don't judge me like that. Zach and I were touring with doing it together and stuff. I don't know if you'd be approving of that.
That'd be awesome. Oh, I think we said each of you, like the Who's line, you would only say one word at a time.
Right, yeah. We've, it might still be just an improvisation game that we butcher.
But that's fine, because that's been our whole relationship, just being stupid and immature. Yeah. So
right, and only people getting joy out of the situation are the three of us. So it would be very true to our... No, we'll try to keep it good, and I want to make your mom cry. And your dad. I want to make your dad cry, actually. I'm just kidding. It'll be good, but we'll keep it short. I promise we're not going to go we're not going to be filming our HBO comics introductory half hour of comedy.
But that's fine too.
I mean, honestly, and as everybody knows, I live my life based on what I see in TV and movies. And, the Michael Scott office wedding stuff is too cringe to... he's like, I'd kill with the brother stuff. But no, you can't. You just can't do that. So, yeah, going to keep it short and come from the heart. And I would have, I guess, advised the same in the vows. I don't know. What were you thinking other than, were you really thinking about trying to be only funny or?
No, not only funny.
Do you have an outline in your head?
But it's weird for me to be like, how I doth love thee, that's how I would feel just saying something serious. Cause it is kind of like a sitcom where there will be times where Megan is just feeling especially warm and she will say, she'll just go on about how much she loves me and how our relationship is wonderful. And it's like this really heartfelt thing. And then I'll just be like, yeah, same. I don't have an issue expressing emotion. I really don't.
Right.
But there's something weird, not weird, but I just can't say things that are super serious without laughing.
This is kind of related, mostly not related at all. I'm going to say it anyway, which is, I guess, should be the title of the show. Jessie, when she comes home from work, she'll share a really detailed anecdote, which is the best. And then she'll be like, how was your day? And I'm like, it was either good or bad, but it wasn't either too far in either direction. I'm going to say it was okay. For some reason, my brain just doesn't pull up a shareable anecdote, which would be the most normal way to converse with anybody in this world. And I really hate that I can't pull some good stuff or reenactments. But I don't know if you can relate to that at all. It's like, I feel strongly about this, but you said it better than I could, so I don't know how to proceed. So may I suggest starting to write your first draft? That would be my humble. But here's where I get. So it's like you're standing up there with your people. Are you going to have a person that reads stuff with you up there?
What do you mean read stuff?
I don't know, minister or whatever.
Oh, we have our friend officiating.
Okay, cool. That makes me feel better about our decision to do the same.
Right.
And then, so she's going to walk up, everyone stands, and it's like, oh, wow, nice dress. Excellent. Party on. This is what we came for. Rihanna starts playing. This is what we came for. Like every wedding happens. Lightning strikes every time.
And then she cartwheels down the aisle, right?
Right. Anyway, she gets there. The Rihanna song stops. The minister starts talking, or you guys go right into the vows? Like, what? That's where we're at. It's like, how are we going to fill that time? Because, there's pretty much a playbook on how to get to that. But when you take the Catholic Church out of it, or any religious type ceremony, you kind of lose. I mean, you can do 2 or 3 readings. I mean, you can really fill some serious time. I mean, you got a Bible's worth of material to work with. But once you remove that component, it's like, what do you quote, 30 Rock? Or I don't, you know what I mean? But,
well, I don't think I can express how little thought I've given any of this.
I think you have on multiple occasions. You still got time.
It's just like, I kind of feel like we'll just get there and we'll be like, let's just see what happens, I don't know. So our buddy who's going to do it, Andrew, we see him all the time. So maybe one day we'll just go to a restaurant and talk some stuff over.
Well, feel free to call and workshop anything.
Awesome. Maybe we'll do it live on the show. What about you? How far have you gotten on that?
Oh, we're not doing that.
Doing what?
We're not doing our own vows.
Oh, so you're just doing...
I don't know what we're doing.
Oh, because
that's why I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to see what you're doing, so I can.
Because what is there if you're not doing the like? So are you doing the like? Do you take her to be your lawfully?
I mean, this is the essence of why I wanted to talk about this, is because I don't know. Other than like, okay, so you get the bride walks up. It's an emotional moment, and then it's like everyone's like, okay, you may sit.
Right.
That far, we've gotten that far, but everybody's gotten that far.
Walk down the aisle, check.
Right, and then at the end, it'll be like you may kiss, and we're probably going to do that thing about being in richness and health. I'd imagine that's a classic. Bring down the house, of course. So that'll happen. We'll kiss. We'll leave. Everyone will walk back out of the room, and then there'll be like you go to the happy hour or whatever, or like the drinks and snacks before the dinner. It's what happens between those two things. That I don't fucking know. My starting point was asking you about it, what you're going to do. We're going to see a few more weddings this year as well. Okay. And I've been to a bunch in my life, probably more than a couple dozen, to be honest, with so many cousins and things like that. But the fact that I can't remember eases my stress about it. Like I don't remember any specific. I barely remember any of the bridesmaids or
so like no one's going to remember yours. You're hoping,
right? I'm just keep it nice and forgettable, but obviously invite everyone there so they can be aware that it has occurred, this nuptial situation. I don't know, I don't know if we replace like gospel readings with like authors we both like that convey the same thoughts. There's going to be a lot of hopefully book work that goes into it to find the right words to be said aloud in that moment to like make it work and make it good. But definitely some research to do, which I'm actually kind of excited about because I want to do it well. I don't want to just fill 15 minutes with it's not just going to be filler. People have traveled so far. Obviously Jesse's dress and she's going to do pretty much the heavy lifting of the whole thing. That's going to be the big show there for sure. But
does she have the dress already?
Yeah, she does.
Oh, okay. Have you seen it?
I have, yeah.
Okay, cool.
You got to see Megan's before.
I picked it out.
Right.
Just a bunch of modern grooms here.
Well, we were at a bar, and we're still kind of new to Cincinnati. We haven't been here a full year yet, so she doesn't have her girlfriends here or her mom.
Yeah,
so
same.
She was just like, I don't really care about superstition stuff, and I just need somebody to geek out with me about this real quick. So she showed me, and I was like, oh shit, It's a nice dress, and I don't appreciate clothing like perhaps some other humans on this lovely world. So I don't know if I gave her the geek out she deserves, but I tried. And I think it's a swell garment, to be quite honest with you. I think that thing's damn good. Yeah, so I don't think seeing the piece of clothing is going to affect how emotional the moment is when they turn up and start heading up the aisle. That's the thing I'm scared about, because it's going to be emotional. Do you feel that way? Are you worried about tearing up, or are you just ready to let the emotion hit you when it comes?
I'll probably tear up. I'm not worried about it. I do have, actually, regarding the kiss, Megan asked me, are you going to dip me? And I was like, oh my God.
That's a good question.
Never thought about it. She goes, well, if you wanted to, I wouldn't mind. Which is saying, please dip me, right?
You got to practice.
But yeah, there are so many instances where that goes wrong, right? You drop the bride. Like
if you don't practice, it will go wrong. Yeah, you gotta. You gotta rehearse. Are you gonna go left or right? I feel like, you know what I mean.
I'd have to go left.
Right. Okay. So there's a kiss and then there's a swing, right?
No,
so
I think it's like you grab them, you swing them 180 degrees, dip them down, and kiss them.
Oh, so there's the dip and then you lay it on them. I like that.
Dip and kiss.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see there's like a Gene Kelly type character in my head doing that in an old-timey movie. I like that. I like that a lot. Well, that's cool. I want to practice the dance. Jesse is like, we'll just be in love and it'll be good. And I'm like, bold, maybe, possibly. Also, can we practice 17 times? Also, I mean, that would be my. It's a short song. It's "Every Day" by Buddy Holly, and it's only 2 minutes, so it's a nice, quick, short. We don't want anybody to be too. We mostly want people to enjoy the drinking and dancing part. We mostly want that to be what people remember about the day. Just having a good time, just people, friends and family enjoying themselves. But, there are certain other traditions, I guess, that you just do. And I'm excited for that one. But I guess you just slow dance for a while and people just watch. We talked about that on an episode, a few episodes ago, just like gathering up everyone, tearing up in front of them and then making them watch you dance.
A little weird. Yeah, a little weird.
And when you phrase it like that, it does come off as a little like, how did this happen?
When I was watching Gilmore Girls, there was an episode where Emily and, what's the grandfather's name? Renew their vows. And they did the first dance. And after like 30 seconds, the MC invited the other couples to come up and join them.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Which, yeah, it made it seem like way less awkward. Like, how about everyone sits and just watches us, and then what do you do? Like, it just seems so awkward to me. And
right.
I don't know what our first dance is going to be. I'm still fighting for Taylor Swift, but there honestly hasn't been much talk about it because that
was the first thing we were worried about. And we went through probably 2 weeks of not arguing so much as like immediately shutting down any suggestion each of us had come up with.
Right.
So it's just like, oh yeah, well maybe. But after a while, it went from that to just like, turn it off. Shut this down. No way. I don't want this to build momentum at all. Which is mostly what she was saying to me because I wanted it to be Weezer really bad.
Buddy Holly by Weezer, right? That's how you landed on Buddy Holly?
No, actually, Holiday off of the Blue Album had been in my head. I think it's a really sweet song, but it's also a 90s grunge song, so nobody would. The thing, like, whenever I've been a DJ at like parties, and not DJ, but just like at a place with the iPad or the iPod near me, in the early 2000s.
Right.
Any song I've ever put on in any social situation has been just fallen flat on its. So I am fully willing to concede any music choosing responsibilities whatsoever. It's like, why aren't you guys enjoying this? I am. I'm enjoying this.
Why isn't everyone exactly like me?
Yeah. It's like, what exactly is the job of a disc jockey? If not to enjoy yourself.
It's like in Parks and Rec when Rob Lowe's broken up with and he's DJing that party and he's playing like
aren't
that.
Aren't you guys all in this same mental space as me? These take off your pants and jacket deep cuts aren't doing it for you? If not blink, then what?
Well, man, yeah, I got 45 days until mine. Yours is quickly following.
Yes.
I feel like there's a lot to get to, but
we can keep talking about it and
it's just
further episodes.
It's like the really small things that seem to make the wedding, like you think we have the venue, we have the lodging, we have the food, everything is done. You think those are the big things because when you hear people wedding planning, that's what you hear them talking about. But the hard work is like the small things that the people don't talk about that I didn't expect to be like, oh, this needs to be discussed beforehand. Like, oh, I just totally wasn't expecting that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. One of the biggest things for me that I'm most stressed about is I used my health insurance for the first time the other day. I had to get an inhaler because I had like a really bad reaction to being in an attic that was super dusty and I like couldn't breathe. So I got an inhaler, which my God, they're still so expensive, even with some of the best health insurance in the fucking country. Ridiculous. But for the first time in my life, I'm over 200 pounds, Pat. I am 201 pounds.
Okay.
I've been at 180, 185 most of my life. I've put on quite a bit more muscle since the new job, but now I'm thinking like, I need to lose 10 pounds in 5.5 weeks. And
start biking.
I know there's a lot of excuses, but I've been doing a lot of like 16-hour days with the new job and editing. I don't know how I'm going to fit that shit in, dude, but I'm starting to like count calories and eat healthier and got just like several pounds of chicken that I'm going to be bringing to work in salads and stuff to try to at least eat better and then try to do some cardio, ride a bike every day. I don't know.
Wedding ready, dude.
Yeah, because, dude, like all of a sudden I was like, these pictures are going to last forever. Right? Like, I can't look like a fat piece of shit on my wedding day. Not to say that 200 pounds is a fat piece of shit or qualifies anyone as one, but it's gotten away from me for sure.
Well, it's about self-love and being comfortable in your own body.
Yeah.
And
I would love myself more at 185, I'll tell you that.
It's not like you're starving yourself, you know? It's like, I'm just going to start eating healthier. It's like that being your reaction instead of, I'm going to not eat and start smoking and drinking coffee only, you know?
That was the first thought. Like, how many days? Because, dude, 5 years ago, this girl broke up with me. And I was devastated. And I was at 185 at that time. And,
I'm sorry for laughing. But the thought occurred to me of you going to Megan and being like, hey, can you break up with me until the wedding? And then I'll just go into a total tailspin and drop a quick like 20, maybe 30.
But I was very sick at that time. I was the doctor's, I felt like once a week for about a month with an upper respiratory infection. And this girl broke up with me. I didn't eat for 6 whole days. Nothing. Not a single bite. I just couldn't do it. And I lost 22 pounds in a week and a half in between visits at the doctor's. And I'll tell you what, man, when I was down to like 165, I was looking good. Like I was looking
was this in time for beach season or what are we talking about?
This was through winter, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, it's nice to see that you're here and that your reaction to this predicament you view as a predicament to eat healthier, and I wish you the best. Cardio, it starts with the diet, and then cardio probably, right, after that. And
I miss the boxing gym, dude, so much.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's a big
thing. Go for a daily walk or something. I don't know. Instead of a cup of coffee in the morning, just go for a walk.
Yeah.
Drink a lot of water. Some people swear by that.
Yeah. Vows, losing weight, those are the big things.
Sure.
But I'm very impatient. I was in a Walgreens parking lot in between jobs the other day, and I don't even remember what I was thinking about. It was something that I said, and then Megan's reaction to it really surprised me. And I was like, dude, let's just get married now. Like, I don't want to wait 45 days. Like, I'm just so excited, and I just want it to happen. And I don't know. You see all these TV shows or movies where it's like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. It's like one person for the rest of my life. Like, to me, that sounds exciting. You know, like, I feel like that's good, right?
Yeah.
I have
it's
no
like, I don't know
hesitation.
how many of those dudes, like, how well were you doing? Like, when people talk about, I don't know, anything. It's like, companionship-wise, like, what was your batting average before having somebody that cared about you?
Right.
It's like both emotionally and I guess physically, if you wanted to go down that road and bring that into the equation. But it's like, who do you think you are, man? You know? Also, how fulfilling were those interactions? Anyway, I don't know. I could see pros and cons on both sides, depending on what's best for you and your own happiness. But For those that believe this is the way to go, I wish everyone the best of luck. And on the other side, I wish you all the best of luck. And I just want everyone to be okay, man. Treat each other well. Anyway, we are running a little long. Did you want to finish this up with, I think we had a little bit of interference from the messages from our sister station up north coming in.
Yeah, I thought I heard that too.
You know, let them chime in for a little bit before we wrap up the show.
Sure. Here is our sister station from Winnipeg, Canada.
Oh, welcome to Canada, this or that edition. Are you ready to play?
Oh, I'm ready, mate.
All right. Alex Trebek, the Java programming language.
Oh, that's a good one, bruv. Java programming language, while rather antiquated at this point, is done a lot of good for us as a society in the way that we view our favorite addicting games web pages. So I'm going to go with Java on that one.
That's bold as hell. Dissing Trebek, he's a damn legend. Moving right along. Collie Ray Jepsen, or peanut butter?
Oh, peanut butter. If it's extra chunky, I guess I'd go with the peanut butter.
Oh, you're positively mental. You're mad. You've gone absolutely mad. Moving right along. Arcade Fire, the band, or...
Let me stop you there. Nothing matters because Arcade Fire is total rubbish.
Oh,
and I don't even care what comes next. Anything. Positively anything over
You're
Arcade
on one,
Fire.
mate. You're off your rocker. You're off your rocker. The other option was Trivial Pursuit, the board
Oh,
game.
get out. Trivial Pursuit is bonkers, mate. Love it. Love it.
God save the Queen.
God save the Queen. Should we give a song of the week and get the frick out of here?
John.
Yeah, as usual. I don't have a song.
Okay.
But the new Bill Hader show, Barry,
Ooh.
is just really great. Shades of well, I don't want to say anything. It's just surprisingly good. It's not what you think it is. It's like a hitman that ends up wanting to be an actor once he takes a job in L.A. And you're like, well, is that going to be too much like Grosse Pointe Blank, or is it going to be too much like this or that? And it was way more intense than I expected, but still funny in moments that you don't expect. It's just a surprisingly good show. And kudos to Mr. Hader for bringing this art to us. Pretty dope.
Cool. Just to go with your show, this isn't my recommendation, but I watched John Mulaney's new stand-up special on Netflix. God, very good. At first, I was like, I can't believe that's actually his real voice, because you hear the characters that he's done.
Oh, in Big Mouth, yeah.
Right, and in Oh Hello on Broadway. That's his real damn voice. And that
he's just a person who talks.
Totally surprised me, but it was very good if you haven't seen that yet. But
Jesse and I actually saw him in Columbus, so we got to see that in person.
Oh, wow. It was that show.
Yeah, we've seen him, Chris D'Elia, and Brian Regan so far this year.
Jeez.
So, yeah, that's one thing we enjoy doing together is, like, as opposed to music concerts, we like going to see our favorite comedians. So
very cool.
It was incredible. It was he's at the top of his game for sure.
Well, as I said, not my official recommendation, although very good.
Yes, I'm sorry for just blatantly one-upping you, but I was excited to remember that it was a pleasant little show on Ohio State's campus.
So Megan got us tickets to see Haim and Lizzo at Red Rocks. It'll be my first time at Red Rocks. I've listened to both, but I've been listening to a lot of Lizzo lately, and the song Good as Hell is like the most, I guess, cliche radio song of hers, but I love it. Gonna play it at the wedding. I've been jamming it so hard, so Good as Hell by Lizzo is my jam right now.
Well, they say you're not a true New Yorker until you get robbed or mugged.
Yep.
I don't think you're a true Coloradoan until you see a show, either the Avett Brothers or Haim at Red Rocks. So you're going to be trial by fire, my boy. Good
yeah, I can't wait. It'll be a good time.
Indeed. Well, hey, this has been fun.
Yeah.
My cup of coffee is fully drank. So, and I'll know how to make a better one next time, thanks to your lovely tips.
Yeah. Show notes for this episode, elemental.fm/reminiscent/76, which they may be in a new place soon.
Are we on Twitter, by the way?
We are on Twitter at _reminiscent FM. You can also follow Canada FM on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Link in the show notes. I've been, our sister station hosts have been struggling to keep up with that.
Right,
but we'll see. Should be a good time.
All righty. Well, I love you, man. Have a good week and have safe travels to your job training in Texas next week.
Thank you. Love you too, man. Talk to you later.